Well, there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the DCEU this week, so let's talk about it. What's going on, my DC fans? Welcome back to another episode. Let's just get right into the first topic of the day, which is Jason Momoa finally sticking up for Ray Fisher. Now, again, Jason has, through the recent years, has been making a name for himself. So now Jason is finally sticking up for Ray and saying whatever is going on over at WB is bullshit and it needs to stop and they need to be under investigation. They need to figure out what is going on, even to the point where they made a fake Frosty the Snowman, article smokescreen to make it seem like Jason was doing the voice of him when all this Ray Fisher stuff started coming out. Then that article was released, and Jason's like, "That's bullshit. How dare them do that?" It's getting more and more notoriety. It's getting bigger and bigger, and with again another castmate coming out like Jason and finally saying something, you know it was bad. I mean, I believe Ray to begin with, but you know when someone like Jason comes out, who's on top of the world right now, you know it was bad because Jason just loves everybody, and yeah, he's another one speaking out against what happened to that movie, and this is why the Snyder Cut is bigger than just the movie. It's way bigger than that. What's interesting, though, is the fact that Jason thanks Zack Snyder and loves Zack Snyder so much for getting him this role, and he changed his life. But you know Jason loves Warner Brothers, but now it's to the point where it's like, no, Jason isn't loyal to them anymore. Jason is loyal to AT&T. It's so interesting to see where both of these actors are at points where they're like, they don't care about Warner Brothers anymore because they know that it doesn't matter what Warner Brothers thinks about them because they can't make that decision now. Ultimately, it comes down to AT&T. So if they see two of their biggest actors that were in the Justice League movie talking smack about what went down and the people that were involved that still might be involved in Warner Brothers, most likely AT&T is going to get rid of those people because they're easily disposable and they can bring in someone else. And then again, you have a hot commodity like Jason Momoa. Ray Fisher, not so much. But yeah, you want to keep him because he's really hot right now. He's on he's killing it. Yeah, you want to keep him happy. But again, it's interesting to see how Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, they're finally speaking out and they don't care. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with this. But let's get on to the next topic. Big one, Flash rebooting the DCEU or rebooting the SnyderVerse. So much going on with this Flash movie. So Barbara Machete, I guess in DC Fandom Part 2, she came out and said that the Flash was going to change up the timelines. But so it was something along the lines like, but never forget. Things are going to change, big things are going to change, but they will not be forgotten. And everyone's going crazy like the Snyderverse is done. No. Everyone just needs to relax. Okay? We hear all these rumors, and all it is, it's a Flash movie. It's a Flash movie that's changing a timeline. It's changing timelines, but you have the multiverse. You have so much going on within the DCU now. So it doesn't matter. But I want to say one thing about the fact that if you think that they're going to release Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, and then they're going to come out with a Flash movie, and it's going to change everything. It's going to get rid of Ben Affleck. It's going to get rid of Henry Cavill. I'm just spitballing right now. It's going to get rid of BVS, all that stuff that happened before it. No, it is not. Zack is going to finish his movie. And maybe it's to a point where the Flash movie has nothing to do with Zack Snyder's 5-movie arc. Maybe it doesn't, because if it's going to be released by Warner Brothers in the movie theaters, then maybe it's its own separate thing. We also have to look at that. Same thing with James Gunn's Suicide Squad. It's its own separate thing. Again, the multiverse is where it comes into. So you're probably going to have a lot of different factors in this movie, or a lot of different characters. You're going to have Ben Affleck's Batman. You're going to have Michael Keaton's Batman. Probably Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Batman. And then Cyborg, a plethora of characters. Probably the whole Justice League, I think, from what I'm hearing. Aquaman as well, Wonder Woman. You're probably going to have them all. But yeah, it's just going to be this multiverse, Speed Force. It's going to be a crazy movie, an exciting movie, a movie that I'm very excited to see. I'm really looking forward to it. But in the end, don't worry. Everyone relax. We've heard this before. Everyone's freaking out saying it's over, it's over. No, 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 it's not. Okay, trust me, it's not. This one really interests me because apparently at DC Fandom Part 2, there was a bunch of stuff that was supposed to be announced, or like HBO Max was supposed to be there, and they were supposed to talk about their upcoming like Green Lantern shows and maybe Justice League Dark, and all that stuff was scratched. I never saw that on there. Maybe this was plans before, but yeah, apparently all that stuff was scratched. But what's interesting is the fact that apparently AT&T, they went out and bought all of these fandom names. So now they have the rights to DC Fandom, the rights to HBO Max Fandome, maybe DCEU Fandom, like a whole bunch of rights to these certain names, all ending with Fandom. And that gets me thinking, and again, thank you to Lightcast for bringing this to my attention. Very, very interesting. Is why would they do that? Yes, when something does very well, like DC Fandom did, a lot of times companies will go out and they'll purchase that name so no one else can use it. Understandable, just have it in their back pocket. But the way I'm looking at it is because the virus hit, everything changed. So now you're at a point where they tried this DC Fandom and they crushed it. It did very, very well. Everyone was at home, had 22 million views, part 1 did, and everyone got to experience it instead of actually traveling there to a convention like they've typically done in the past, especially with San Diego Comic-Con. So now they're looking at this and they're going, wow, maybe we can have these fandoms more often. Maybe we can have an HBO Max fandom and have all these HBO Max shows that are coming out and have panels on that and release trailers on there and have content on there. And people will watch and it'll get them more excited. And I love this idea. I really, really do. Because again, everyone gets to be a part of it. The best part is maybe the trades like Variety, Vanity Fair, all like Hollywood Reporter, all these like big name, I don't even know why I said Vanity Fair, but all these big magazines and websites that release information that is a lot of times people like when a Hollywood Reporter releases an article, it's it's legit because they're reliable sources. I think something like this could totally get rid of that because now instead of them giving that information to a website to release, they can just release it all on like a DC or a HBO Max fandom. I mean, honestly, guys, I love the idea. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about that? Because I think it's incredible. Very smart play because they saw how amazing DC Fandom turned out to be. And now you can do that whenever you want. Maybe once a month. I don't think so. But maybe every couple months, once a quarter. Or when you want to release great information, big information, you could have a fandom, a DC fandom, an AT&T fandom, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's why I think possibly why HBO Max was not there in Fandom Part 2, if they even were in the first place, is because they're like, okay, let's hold off on that information a little bit. Let's do our own thing in the next couple months as we get closer to these things getting released, and then we'll have like a panel and we'll talk about it and we'll release all that information and it'll get everyone very excited. Be awesome. Last thing I want to talk about really quick is apparently Kevin Feige was on the set of the Suicide Squad with James Gunn. I just wanted to say, I'll give my 2 cents on it. I do not like that at all, one bit. It's too shady to me. And the thing is we know that with Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige and how similar some of those Marvel movies have been to the DCEU movies, like especially BVS, it just doesn't. I don't like it. Why was he there? I don't care. And apparently it's like them trying to squash the beef, like, oh, yeah, with DC and Marvel. That doesn't matter. This is beyond that, okay? We don't care about that. But what we do care about is our movies getting tampered with or our information going to the other side. So then they can take that information and do whatever the hell they want with it. That's what we do care about. Do I think that was happening? I don't know. But again, why would Kevin Feige be there? That's like Zack Snyder being on the set of The Avengers. Why would he be there? Obviously, maybe they're good friends, and that's why he was. Maybe we're looking too much into it. But at the same time, I'm really disappointed in James Gunn. He should have known. Especially with what's going on right now, with all this chaos, he should have never they were filming months ago, but still, this shouldn't have happened. even months ago, with what was going on between DC and Marvel. You should never have done that. It was looking really bad. Now it's looking extremely bad. And you had Kevin Feige on the set. But the positive about this whole thing is the fact that this movie has nothing to do with the DCEU, it seems like. It's its own thing. So if you think that they gave James Gunn the whole layout of everything, I highly doubt that. And maybe that's why this movie is its own thing. Maybe because they were just like, we don't trust him 100%. Let this movie just be its own thing. So that's the positive. Maybe Kevin Feige was trying to get some information. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we're just looking too far into it. And James Gunn was probably like, I have nothing for you. Making this movie, and that's all I got for you. That's all they gave me. I got certain characters, yada, yada, yada. So, but again, bad look on James Gunn. Really bad look. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to mess with the future of the DCU because we are on the up and up. And unfortunately, Marvel blew their load, and maybe they can come back from that, but I don't know. I'm not here to talk about Marvel. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and please become a Patreon supporter because that helps me in return. I can help you. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.